It's been good so far. Everybody always asks, like, what's the biggest thing for me? It's got to be the heat. The heat's got to be the biggest thing for me. So, the guys have been really good. The coach is all good. So, but yeah, it's been a really good experience so far, and excited to keep going.
Let's get the recruiting process a little bit. You make the decision to leave Penn State. How did you and Coach Moorhead kind of get reconnected and take us through that process of why you picked Mississippi State?
There's a lot of interest, I guess you could say, once I went into the portal, and so just like some of the other coaches, eventually, Mississippi State was one of the teams that came into the picture, and I evaluated like everybody else, and eventually found this is the best place for me.
Coach Moorhead mentioned before you got here that when you came in, outside of some different verbiage, you'd know probably 85–90% of the offense. I know you only been in camp a couple of days, but you feel like it's been that way with the offense so far, how familiar it is with you?
Yeah, there's the base of the offense is all the same. Really the biggest difference for me so far has been, the way that some things are signaled. So, but yeah, it's pretty much all the same stuff that I was running at Penn State.
What's the dynamics like when you step into a quarterback room as the new guy, the guy that transfers in and things? Just how's those relationships been, and just how were you received, and what's the relationships been like with those guys in the quarterback room?
Yeah, no, it's been really good. Those guys have been great with me, and I think that not even just the quarterback room, but the whole team in general, and being the new guys, not easy, and it was something that I really wasn't too concerned about. I guess I've found ways to interact with people really wherever I've been, and so I wasn't really too worried about the relationship aspect. And obviously, it was going to be different, coming here not knowing really anybody, and but everybody's been great with me, and everyone's treated me like their own, and I'm really thankful for that.
Kind of feel like you by this point fitting in just like anybody else?
Yeah, I feel like that. I feel like that way, and there's some other new guys, there's other grad transfers, and the freshmen, and they've been great to everybody. So.
You've had a chance to work this summer, announced them in the fall. What kind of hand do you feel like you've been dealt as far as the wide receivers go?
Can you say that again? Sorry.
What are your impressions of the wide receivers so far?
It's a great group, just as talented as anybody that I've been around. I'm really excited to progress with them through the rest of fall camp and into the season.
You mentioned the grad transfer. You and Isaiah Zuber are both kind of in the same boat there. Does that kind of lend to you guys building maybe a close relationship, the fact that you're both kind of the new guys?
Yeah, in a way. I think that it is a way for us to relate right off from the beginning, and I think just some of my experiences in this offense, and kind of back to your question of knowing the system, and really this being my fourth year in this offense, which really I guess makes me the most experienced person here in this offense. It really helps me be a coach at some point, and just be able to help those guys learn, and give them examples of some of the things we did at Penn State, and there's things like that any way that I can help, and I think that the guys kind of see that, and especially Zub, who's learning the offense for the first time.
Kind of going off of that, Keaton was just saying that he's been helping you a little bit, and vice versa, you've been helping him. How much of that is you helping him, and how much does he have to help you with some of the nuances of the offense?
Yeah, no, I think that it's important to have that sort of dynamic, and I can relate it a lot to when me and Trace McSorley were battling for the job at Penn State, and the relationship that we were able to keep as things progressed after we won the job, and I think that having that kind of dynamic, or that kind of relationship with not only him, but the other quarterbacks in the room, that regardless, obviously there's only one starting quarterback, but if all of us can work together and one way or another help whichever guy is the starter, that's the most important thing. And so I know we were able to do that at Penn State, and everything that I've been shown so far leads me to believe we'll do the same thing here.
You mentioned not knowing any of the players when you get down here, and how you have to adjust to that. In that sense, how comforting was it to come to his staff where Moorhead's here, Billy Fessler's here, just to reunite with them?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. There's a lot of people that I've had relationships with in the past, at Penn State that are here now, and that was pretty cool for me to see. I guess familiar faces, and I'd be lying if I said it didn't help make things a little bit easier for me. So, but yeah, no, they've all been great, and learning. Meeting new people too is also really cool. Helps me expand in different ways. So but yeah, no, everything's been great, and all the coaches have been very helpful for me.
What's the summer like for someone in your position where you have such a small amount of time to put yourself in such a prominent position in a locker room and on a team? Like, how do you kind of prioritize what you try to accomplish over a summer to take that mantle?
Now, I think, me knowing the offense obviously takes a little bit of that off of my shoulders, I guess. Not that I don't need to work at it. There's things that, I don't know everything. There's, obviously things that I need to grow with, but having that side of things where I'm not kind of scrambling to learn everything definitely helps. And so, but, an everyday thing, I guess you could just come in and, my classes are online, so I've been able to spend a lot of time in the building, either watching film, working out, getting together with guys, things like that. And so, it's just been, it's been a very busy summer, I would say. There haven't been a whole lot of opportunities for me, I guess, outside the building that I've been doing. I mean, it's been pretty much football oriented. So it's been a great summer. It's been a really good summer.
Have you done anything with your throwing motion, be it at the Manning Academy or with Coach Briner here?
I haven't really changed the way that I throw the ball, I would say. The Manning camp, they weren't really trying to change things there. And a lot of the things we've been doing here have been based off of comfortability and things. And there's obviously tweaks here and there. Things where I may be overstriding could be one of the things that we've been working. And so just trying to keep a fundamental base and things like that. But for the most part, I've been able to do kind of the things that I'm comfortable with doing.
Sort of a big picture question, but the transfer portal has been like the story of the off season. From your own experience, why do you think this is going to be? Is this going to be the new wave for student athletes, you think?
I think each situation's a little bit different. I'm not sure how much you guys know about my situation, but there was an opportunity for me to leave the year prior of me leaving at Penn State, and I decided to stay. But this was before the portal existed, obviously, and so. I do think that, like I said, each scenario is different, and there's a lot of different, moving pieces for everyone's situation. So I think that it's definitely a good thing for the student athletes. I know there's some coaches across the country that aren't very fond of it, but at the same time, I think that giving the players a little bit more power and letting them, judge where they want to go, I think it can't be a really bad thing for us. So.
As a quarterback your whole career, you've naturally been one of those, just think, I should be the guy. And quarterbacks have to think that way, but is it fair to say that you came here not just thinking to play, but to be the starter, to be the guy this year?
Yeah, I think that's, that's my mindset, but at the same time, even post, them naming Trace the starter, that really never left, for me at least. Every day I would come in, there at Penn State, every day I would come in and try to treat things as if I was a starting quarterback. And so, I think that helped me kind of develop in a way where, maybe I didn't get as much game experience as I would have wanted, but still approaching things like practice and film study as the starting quarterback really helped me grow. So, not that anything's changed, but yeah, I've continued to, I guess, carry that with me.